Casada, and today I want to start by asking you a question. What is a cheerleader's favorite drink after a game?
Milkshake.
Root beer! Today I'm going to speak to you on why cheerleading should be considered a sport. I have done much research on this topic, and also I was a cheerleader for 8 years and a coach for 7. So I do have a lot of experience on this topic. By the end of this conversation, you will be able to understand and make your own decisions about whether cheerleading should be considered a sport or not. People usually think of cheerleaders with pom-poms and at pep rallies. That's not the case anymore. This is a $500 million industry now, and it includes middle school, high school, college, and independent cheerleading. High schools offer accredited courses for cheerleading, and colleges offer full or partial scholarships. We'll now go into some history about cheerleading. Cheerleading in the late 1800s was called pep club and consisted of all males. Yes, all males. Yelling out chants and cheers to root on their teammates. Women were not allowed until 1923. It was not until the 40s when women became a large part of cheerleading. By the 1960s, you could find cheerleaders all over the place. And by the 80s, there were all-star teams. This type of cheerleading focuses on athletic training and competition performances, as opposed to school cheerleading, which is still more of a pep or spirit club. By the 90s, all-star cheerleading and school cheerleaders were both in competition levels. And this still continues today. Now that we have a little bit of history on the subject of cheerleading, let's move on to the trial that brought this controversy into light. In June of 2010, a trial took place to see whether or not cheerleading was a sport. Members from a university team of volleyball players in Connecticut wanted to sue the school for giving their money to the cheerleading team. The university receives federal funding and therefore must meet requirements of Title IX of the Education Amendments of 1972. The university believes that it has complied with these laws, stating that the cheerleading team costs less money to provide for than the volleyball team, and they are still a competitive sport. The judge sided with the volleyball team in the end and stated that this activity was too underdeveloped and too disorganized to be treated as a genuine varsity program. The simple fact is the law needs to be changed. If this sport is too underdeveloped and too disorganized, then why are there national world competitions televised on ESPN? It just does not make sense. Cheerleading is just as strenuous as any other sport. It's not just makeup and pom-poms anymore. Most high school teams practice 8 to 10 hours a week. They have to be in excellent health and exercise regularly. Most cheerleaders take extra time out of their already busy schedule to go to tumbling classes and to go to the gym. They also have to maintain a 2.0 GPA or higher to remain on the squad. Not only do cheerleaders have to make up routines for games and pep rallies, but they also have to make up routines for competition as well. The injury rate for cheerleading is higher than any other female sport. Based in 2001, there's an estimated 25,000 injuries due to cheerleading in the emergency rooms across the country, reported by the Consumer Safety Commission. When you put all these facts together, you have the makings of a sport. Most likely, cheerleaders on a competitive team put in more effort and more work than those of other sports. Maybe if the judge knew what it took to be a cheerleader, he might have changed his mind.
No, Dad, don't kill mine.
So today I was talking about the history of cheerleading, the trial of the cheerleaders versus the volleyball players, and what it takes to be a cheerleader.
I guess.
Hopefully now you are able to come to your own conclusions about whether cheerleading is a sport or not. Thank you. Does anybody have any questions?
What kind of injuries do cheerleaders normally sustain?
Most of the time it's ankle, shoulder, or head injuries.
How do the cheerleaders stay in shape? What kind of exercises do they have to do?
Most of the time the coaches will make them do push-ups and sit-ups and use weights. Anybody else? Thank you very much.